Could you comment on the census this year?
Well, the census is incredibly important. It determines so much of the federal funding that we get to help children, to help seniors. And so having an accurate count is really important. And where it is hard to get that accurate count is where people are struggling, where they're living at the margins. And those are the people who getting an accurate census helps the most. So to anybody who gets the questionnaires or who needs to reach out to make sure they're counted, please do. It's critically important for the future of Kentucky.
What is your stance on the arts and keeping the arts in schools?
Oh, arts is so important. I know that not just as a governor, but as a dad. I have a 9 to 10-year-old. My son will be in middle school next year. And what acting and other arts have done for both of my children and their ability to express themselves, to be creative, is so important. In so many jobs right now, the most important thing isn't just to know what you need to know, it's to be able to use it creatively to come up with new solutions. And the arts is really important in developing that part of the brain.
What are your plans on the education system in general, pensions, stuff like that?
Well, I am a huge supporter of public education. I just submitted a budget that adds $400 million in extra funding to public education. It provides a $2,000 raise to every Kentucky teacher so we can address this teacher shortage and to make sure that we don't have teachers that have to drive an Uber at night just to get by. That's wrong. We fully fund the teacher pension as well as health care that's out there. We add money to what's called the SEEK formula, which are the dollars the school systems get per child, and we have a fund that's going to help maintenance all across Kentucky. We also have funding for school safety to make sure, like this atrium we're standing in right now, there are 2 doors you got to be buzzed through to come into school to make sure all our kids are safe while you're here.
All right. Do you have any more plans for school safety, gun safety, stuff like that?
Certainly in school safety, the first step we have to take is the physical safety, how many doors there are in and out. Mm-hmm. So I just proposed a budget that has $18 million that goes into that. That's every dollar that's needed for every school across the state. But then we need to make sure every school has a school resource officer, and more importantly than that, counselors. You know, I just got about 300 questionnaires filled out by middle schoolers and high schoolers from across Kentucky. And what they say, and I'm here to listen, is it's hard being this age. You go through a lot, whether it's bullying or the rest, and to need to have that person that you can talk to in a safe environment at school, we want to make sure that we can provide that.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Nice job.
I'm pleased to welcome our Governor, Mr. Andy Beshear.
Everybody just really wanted to make noise, right? Well, good morning. I am really excited to be here today. Does anybody know what today is? It is President's Day. It's something else. Anybody know what? It is President's Day. It's something else. There are more than one president, so. It is also Monday. These are all true. About how we are supposed to treat each other. And that doing the right thing is the right thing each and every time that you do it. So Random Acts of Kindness Day is about doing something nice for somebody else, even though you don't expect to get anything back from it. And that's how we're raised, right? You know, my grandparents come from right down the road in Hopkins County in a little town called Dawson Springs. Anybody heard of Dawson? All right. And you know, the types of lessons that I was taught growing up, I think come from Western Kentucky, right? And that's that we love our family. We love our faith. We work really hard and we look out for one another. That when somebody needs just a little bit of help, that we are there for them to try to help them. I think that's what you all are taught here in school as well, right? That you treat each other as you would want to be treated. You might not believe this, but that's a lot of what I'm trying to do in Frankfort right now. I don't know who watches politics on television. Anybody? All right. But you don't hear people talking very nicely to each other, do you? You hear arguing. You hear name calling. And I think we can call some of that behavior that we see for what it is. You see bullying, don't you? And if we are going to be here in school saying that we shouldn't act that way, people in government shouldn't be acting that way either, should they? So one of my goals as government, and as governor, is to make sure that we act in Frankfort in a type of way that makes you all proud, and that when you see how we act in Frankfort, it's the way that you are expected to act here in your school, and that people are expected to act in their places of work. Now that sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? But it hadn't happened in a really long time. But my job, if I can make sure that people do it, and just live by the same example that you all are expected to, I think we can do bigger and better things for this Commonwealth. So as governor, what's my job? My job is to try to hire roughly 1,000 people. I don't even know 1,000 people. And put together a $40 billion budget. Just a few small things, right? But that budget we were able to put together is going to do some really good things. And they're good things that I hope are going to help everybody here. Because when I wake up in the morning, I'm not a governor, I'm the dad of a 10 and a 9-year-old. And I want them to have the same type of opportunities that I want you all to have. The first is to make sure that you're safe. Now in Kentucky, unfortunately, we have more children suffering from abuse and neglect than in most places around the country. So the budget that I put together adds 350 new social workers all across this state to help make sure that that doesn't happen to anybody. That everybody is safe inside their home and that we step in when that's not the case. The second thing we do is we invest in your schools just like this one. You know, if you all were watching, the last couple of years have been pretty hard on your teachers, haven't they? At different times, they were disrespected, they were called names. But all of that is over. I submitted a budget that's intended to honor them for what they do. And that budget is going to provide each and every teacher in this Commonwealth with a $2,000 raise that they have earned. Yeah.